everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a fun and exciting one for you because these commanders are totally busted, but no one knows about them because, well, it's a secret. Let's jump into that. So first up, Esa God of the Tree is not secretly a busted commander. Everyone knows about Esa God of the Tree, but here's the thing. When you are building around Esa, or should I say, the Prismatic Bridge, it allows you to utilize a strategy that is called Secret Commander, where essentially you have the entire deck built around a creature that is not legendary, is not a legal commander, but in all, intents and purposes, essentially, for all intents and purposes, it is your commander because the entire deck is built around that card. And the Prismatic Bridge is a great way to do that because, again, it's out of the command zone. A legendary enchantment for Wooburg gives you access to all the colors, all the cards. The best color combination, in my opinion. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library to reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card on the battlefield, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So again, a lot of players build around this like, okay, a lot of great creatures, a lot of great planeswalkers, throw them all in the deck, have a great time. The way I like to build around, though, is the Secret Commander aspect of this, where I literally have this as my commander, and then there is one, count it, one creature in the entire deck, meaning that I am guaranteed to hit that creature, which is my Secret Commander, essentially with this, basically tutor effect right into play. And then I will decimate my opponents with my secretly busted commander that is, again, not legendary, but is my commander. You see where this is going. That being said, there are some other options when it comes to a secret commander enabler that is actually the commander itself. Rocco Cabaret Caterer is a great one, too. X and Naya colors. Enters the battlefield if you cast it. Search life for a creature card, mana value X or less on the battlefield, then shuffle. This one, you don't have to build the deck in like a wonky way, kind of. It still works, I promise you. I promise you it still works to build around the Prismatic Bridge. You don't have to build with that restriction of only one creature in the deck. This allows you to tutor out whatever you want. So essentially, again, yeah, you can have other creatures in the deck too, but you're going to be tutoring out, again, the non-legend that is now legendary in your opponent's minds. Then there's also Atlapalani Nest Tender. This one, again, doesn't have to, again, like Prismatic Bridge, you don't have to just go one creature, but if you want to guarantee hit it, yeah, you do. A 2/3 Human Shaman for 4 mana and Naya, pay 2 tap, make a 0/1 egg with Defender, and then whenever an egg you control dies, you roll up the top of your library to reveal a creature card, it goes right on the battlefield, the rest of the bottom of your library in random order. Again, if you literally just have one creature in the deck, you are gonna hit that every single time. And finally, General Tazri, ETBs, go search life for an ally creature card, reveal, put your hand, then shuffle. This one's also a Wooburg commander too. That being said, again, it has to be an ally that you're actually tutoring for. So yeah, if you've got a deck built around an ally, amazing, awesome. Or a changeling could also be your secret commander too. We'll get that here in a bit. Regardless, let's jump into those secret commanders that you're going to want to build around because they are busted when you actually build an entire deck around them. It's so much fun. Okay, so the first one that I want to bring up, and the one that kind of inspired all this, and the one that I will warn you that I have built this deck. I was very excited about it. It is so much fun, but also it wins literally every single time. If Inktar Nephilim gets out, you just win. And so that's, you'd think that wouldn't be a bad thing, but yeah, in Casual Commander it kind of is, because then you're like, yeah, I need to ask ahead of time if I can play this deck. So basically, I reserve it for only when it's the highest powered, essentially, kind of table, essentially, with that kind of stuff. So Inktar Nephilim, again, this one is in my Prismatic Bridge Secret Commander deck. A 3/3 Nephilim for 4 mana, every color but black, basically. Whenever a player plays an instant sorcery spell, Inktar Nephilim is the only target of that spell. Copied for each other creature that spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. Basically, absurd Zada for every creature out there. So essentially, again, in a game of Commander, just naturally, players are going to be playing creatures, getting creatures out. You also have ways to make creature tokens, with non-creature ways. So you can fill the board with creatures too. And all of a sudden, once the Prismatic Bridge hits, once that trigger happens, once this comes into play again, you win. You just basically win. Again, there's probably like 10 plus creatures on the board. You cast like an Expedite. Okay, cool. All right, I target my Inktar Nephilim, which then targets everyone. Or every creature, I should say. 1 mana, draw 10 plus cards. Cool. Okay, I did that. All right, I cast another spell. Okay, cool. This just gives me a treasure based on every single creature, basically. Because, again, certain spells that normally wouldn't just be able to give you an absurd amount of value become high-value cards because now they're targeting everything. Of course, so card draw, free treasures, essentially, or free mana, and then actually doubling up armies, tripling up armies. there's an insane way to go about this. And of course, like any kind of a threat and effect becomes an insurrection. You just win if this hits the battlefield. If you want to see that episode, make sure you check it out. But again, I warn you, ask your playgroup ahead of time if you can play this deck, because again, secret commanders can be really busted. Speaking of which, yeah, you might not expect it, but Archmage Emeritus. I mean, a very good card, yes, but thank goodness it's not legendary, because this would be a problem as a commander. But of course, as a secret commander, it is secretly busted. Again, you can go, Prismatic Bridge if you want with this one. Off the top library comes into play again. No other creatures in the deck, that's okay, because Archmage Emeritus doesn't care about creatures. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. A little 2/2 human wizard for 4 mana in blue. Again, cast or copy. Keyword right there, or copy. I guess that's 2 words. Copy is the keyword right there. But essentially, again, taking into account any copies, oh my goodness. All you need to go infinite with this, again, limited based on your library size, but yeah, basically infinite, is say, okay, I have a copy spell. Oh, and then I've got another copy spell, like Reverberate, and then copy spell. Like, you just literally copy a copy spell, and all of a sudden you're copying the copy spell, which copies the copy spell, which copies the copy spell, which copies the copy spell. You have one spell on the stack all the time, and then the copies of the copy spells are just targeting the same thing again and again and again. And normally that wouldn't do anything, but again, with a Magecraft trigger like this in play, you're like, oh, okay, I'll just draw as much as I want. I'll draw my entire deck, essentially. Yeah, you're able to essentially just go absolutely crazy with this one. Draw essentially all the cards you need to draw, and then, of course, win from there. Obviously, you need to be, like, set up ahead of time. You don't just like, okay, I drew my library. Go to end step. Oh, no, I got a discard. Uh-oh. All right, everyone wait. Down to 7 cards. Okay, now I've got no library. All right, this didn't work out very well. I don't have the mana to win. Yeah, make sure you're set up properly, but this is absolutely absurd when it works out. On the other end, really quick, because it works in the same way, essentially, but different when it comes to the outcome, Stormkiln Artist, a 2/2 Dwarf Shaman for 4 mana in red, +1/+0 for each artifact you control. That's nice, but most importantly, whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, create a treasure token. Here's the thing again. Literally, you just need, again, 2 copy spells, essentially. So, again, you are copying the copy spell to copy the copy spell to infinite Magecraft triggers. And all of a sudden, you've got infinite mana. Okay, rules lawyers out there, I understand. Okay, 1 trillion mana. You pick a number, right? You've got 1 trillion treasures in play, meaning that Stormkiln Artist power is also like 1,000,000,002. Cool, good for you. Of course, you can use that, power in plenty of ways to win. You could swing, trample, whatever. You got ways to win in that way, but you've got infinite mana. You're going to be able to win from there. Again, you just have 1 draw spell that draws basically, X cards like a pull from tomorrow. You're like, okay, I draw my library. I've got my library. I've got all the mana I could ever want. Yeah, I just win. I play whatever cards to win from there. So basically, again, yeah, this is a secret commander. It can be absolutely, brutally amazing and a lot of fun for you. Now, another secret commander that I have built around is Mere Entity. And I did mention General Tazri earlier, who is, again, a bit more specific when it comes to a secret commander build around. Like, the Prismatic Bridge is probably the most broad one because it is 5 color, and it's any creature, basically, that can become that. Mere Entity is a shapeshifter changeling, which means that it is technically an ally, so therefore General Tazri can tutor it up, meaning you can build around it. A 1/1 for 3 mana. If that was it, this would be pretty garbage and you never use it, but it does have pay X until end of turn. Creature control base power and toughness XX and gain all creature types. So essentially, this is like, hey, everything becomes a changeling for, well, usually 1 mana, but it actually can be 0 mana if you've got an Anthem in play. So, yeah, building like Lord Tribal around this one, like Anthem's Tribal, it is so much fun. Basically, just grab like the best creatures out there from, the tribal creature types, essentially, that are like, okay, yeah, this gets that, this gets that, this gets that. And all of a sudden, you're like, all right, I've got all these different mix of creatures in my deck, and now all of them are the exact same creature type, essentially. They're all the creature types, I should say, more so. Everything is all creature types to get all the benefits. It's kind of like turning all of your things into, like, slivers that help everything, essentially. It is so much fun. Make sure you check that episode out. Moving on, the OG Fire Song and Sunspeaker, and actually, I mean, a card that was part of a cycle, and all these really should have been legendary because they're so cool and so unique, but Soulfire Grandmaster, yeah, Secret Commander is super fun and busted. A 2/2 Human Monk for 2 mana in white, but it's got lifelink. Instant sorcery spells you control have lifelink and pay 4 mana. And is it the next time you cast an sorcery card from your hand this turn? Well, you put that card in your hand as it resolves instead of your graveyard. So, I mean, there's plenty of reasons why this is absurdly broken because, well, yeah, basically, you can, well, first of all, again, like Fire Song and Sunspeaker basically does that where you're like gaining life based off instant sorcery, so that's fun, and you can build around that part, of course, and that's great. You can also build around, my spell's gonna resolve, I get it back to my hand. So this plus any kind of an extra turn spell that does not exile equals, okay, cool, yeah, infinite extra turns. This plus any kind of a ritual effect that makes me more than 4 mana equals infinite mana that I keep going and going and going and going with. There's a lot of different ways to be incredibly broken with this, a lot of different fun build-arounds for it. Make sure you, well, check them all out. Moving on, though, immediate impact from the Cultivator Colossus could be so much fun for you, and I can definitely envision an entire deck built around like this, plus, I mean, technically you could just go, 98 lands, plus this, plus Prismatic Bridge, and just see what happens. You probably lose, but anyways, yeah, here we go. A Star Plant Beast with Trample for 7 mana and green. Power types are each to a number of lands you control. When this creature enters, you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card, repeat this process. So I guess you don't technically lose, right? You just have a giant Cultivator Colossus. What would happen basically is, again, you ETB. You get, oh, okay, cool, all right, put a land from my hand on the battlefield. Again, if you've got a 98 land stack built around, it's like, hey, land from my hand on the battlefield. Awesome, cool. All right, I get to draw a card, repeat it. Oh, it's a land. No, really, because this is the only creature in the deck, and I just got it out with Prismatic Bridge. Again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Its power is like, 90 plus or whatever, essentially. And, yeah, I mean, there are certain lands that can grant haste, but they're going to come and play tapped. So here's the thing. Maybe building around a 98 land deck around this might not be the best thing in the world, but yeah, you can build like 90 and then see what happens with that, and maybe some of the other cards do some pretty crazy things with it. There are definitely avenues to victory when it comes to that way. You don't have to go like completely crazy with all the lands. Of course, just by including this as the only creature in the deck, and then a good amount of like big powerful spells could be a very good strategy as well. Being able to go, oh, okay, yeah, I guarantee play Prismatic Bridge on turn 5, or maybe a little earlier, maybe if I've got some kind of absurd lands. Probably not though. But being able to go, okay, this, and then all of a sudden be able to go, all right, yeah, off the top, all my lands in play that I really want, basically, and then some massive spells in my hand ready to go, could be a fun, effective strategy for you. Speaking of fun and effective, though, another one that I've built, you've got to check it out. We've got my Atla Palani Sarah Avatar Fling deck. Oh my goodness. So, a Star Avatar for 7 mana and white. Power and toughness each equal to your life total, which is absurdly powerful, obviously. On top of that, though, whenever it's in a grave from anywhere, you shuffle into its owner's library. Now, that is a massive benefit. I mean, back in the day, that was kind of utilized as like a reanimation stopper in a way, but also like okay, the giant threat can come back at some point, but also like you can't like just like, okay, tutor it from my library to my graveyard and then reanimate it. Haha. Yeah, it stops that in a way. But essentially with this being able to go, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get this off the top of my library with my Atla Palani, because I'm gonna get an egg, sacrifice it. This comes into play, and all of a sudden, oh, I've got a 40/40 in play. Oh, okay, I fling it at an opponent with a fling spell, and there's plenty of fling spells out there. Okay, they're gone. All right, goodbye. Maybe I've got lifelink on this somehow, too, and then I just gain even more life. And then all of a sudden, okay, it shovels back to my library, I crack another egg, and it comes back into play again. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Make sure you check that episode out. I mean, Warstorm Surge is also fun in that. Even just granting haste and trample can, of course, be a great way to just swing through and take an opponent out. Life doubling effects can be great with this, too. Have fun. It's so much fun to build around Secret Commanders, and this one can be especially busted. Or you know what? The Hoof is here. Yeah, the Hoof is already, one of the biggest finishers in Commander, but now it can be your secret commander in a deck to finish off your opponents. You might be thinking, well, we already talked about how, the Prismatic Bridge, you only have one creature. Oh, you can still make that work. You can definitely still make that work. There are plenty of enchantments. There are plenty of artifacts. There are plenty of instant sorceries, any kind of spells that are going to say, you know what, make a bunch of creature tokens. Fill the board with all the creature tokens. Have so many creature tokens. And then all of a sudden, Prismatic Bridge hits, and all of a sudden, 5/5 Beast with haste for 8 mana in green comes into play. Enters the battlefield, creature control gain trample, and get +X/+X until after X of a creature you control. This can be a big surprise victory for you, where again, your opponent's like, well, they've got, I don't know, 15 little 1/1s, but that's not all that threatening, right? Oh, that's fine. I've got my bigger army, bigger creatures. Then all of a sudden you just, Prismatic Bridge into this, and it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that's game. Yeah, plus 15, or 16, whatever it is, to all the creatures, you're gonna be able to win. Goodbye, opponents, again. Or have you ever, wanted to build around Eldrazi that's not, a legendary Eldrazi, but it's a fun Eldrazi that makes more Eldrazi? How about Ulamog's Dreadsire? Hey, 10/10 Eldrazi with Vigilance for 10 mana. Ward sacrifice a permanent with mana value 1 or greater. By tapping, create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token. Yeah, that is a pretty crazy effect. That is a crazy ability. If this was a commander, it would be quite fun to build around. But it's not a commander, but to you it can be, because again, it can be our secret commander. Again, Prismatic Bridge this out, and with Prismatic Bridge, again, you get access to all the colors, which if this was a commander, it wouldn't get access to. Being able to go, okay, yeah, Intruder Alarm plus this equals infinite Eldrazi. Obviously, having a lot of ways to be able to tap right away. Being able to untap, again, there's plenty of cheap, little 1 mana spells that untap too. Being able to go, okay, cool, untap again and again and again. So many 10/10s. Flood the board with the Eldrazi and dominate your opponents with Eldrazi. That is not a commander, but you're going to decimate with them anyways. Or kind of in that Sarah Avatar lane, how about a World-Spine Worm deck? I mean, I love this card. This card is so spicy. A 15/15 Worm with Trample for, 11 mana in green. But again, with a secret commander, you might not pay that. Like with Rocco, you would +3. But you're in green, you can afford that anyways. But yeah, with Prismatic Bridge, it's like, okay, cool. All right, it's in play. Or Latlapalani, essentially, too, right? It's in play. All right, awesome. All right, I'll go get it off the top of my library. For free in play. Yay, good for me. By the way, when this dies, you get 3 5/5s with tramples. You're basically splitting this into 3. On top of that, again, when it's been engraved from anywhere you shoved them in someone's library, like Sarah Avatar. Again, where that might be a downside in some ways, like no reanimation and stuff like that, it's actually an upside for those types of strategies because, again, with Prismatic Bridge, next turn, you're like, okay, trigger happens, I get it back into play. Or Latlapalani, okay, I crack another egg, I get that back into play. And with Latlapalani, you're already incentivized to, have ways to sacrifice things. So you can actually sacrifice this when you want to. Just pop it into those 3/3s, basically. And then also, of course, you've got ways to, populate potentially, too, so you can get more and more and more of those 5/5s. Again, building around these secret commanders can be just so much fun because the avenues can just be so infinite. It's whatever kind of creature you want to build around. Anything that hasn't been a commander and essentially you're like, you know what, that'd be fun to build around. Build around it. Have that secret power that your opponents don't know about and have fun. Or just build around Blightsteel Colossus and dominate your opponents with this. An 11/11 artifact creature golem with trample, infect, and indestructible. The trifecta right there. For 12 mana. And again, actually, if we put a graveyard from anywhere, reveal it and shuffle it into someone's library instead. So again, yet another way to take advantage of that. Again, if an opponent's going to try to gain control of it, or if an opponent's going to try to exile it, yeah, make sure you have some sacrifice outlets potentially. And again, your Prismatic Bridge or your Latlapalani deck, you can just get this back out again. So yeah, it can make it really hardy. I mean, it's already hardy, right? It's indestructible. But yeah, a one-shot KO on anyone that you are getting out super quickly, and again, guaranteed to get out with, again, Latlapalani or Prismatic Bridge. So much fun. For you, again, being able to just go, okay, my secret commander is actually this really powerful finisher in Commander. It's coming to decimate your faces. Good luck. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.